Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews podcast here with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Before I dive into this week's cars, I'll also mention our Collector Car Stories podcast, where we speak to an enthusiast or group about a collection of cars, maybe an event, something like that. And we have a lot of fun with them. If you think you might have a story we'd be interested in talking about, please use the Contact Us page on the website on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Let us know what you have in mind and maybe we'll do an episode with you. Right now, our most recent release is a special issue where we talk about what it's like to be a seller on CollectorCarCanada.CA. So please do take a look. Another reminder to please like, share, and subscribe to the videos. Liking them helps get them in front of eyes that want to see them. Sharing them helps a brother out. And if you subscribe, you know you're going to be the first in your block to see them because you'll get an automatic notification that a new one's been released. On to today's cars. So we're going to show you three today. The first is a 2009 Porsche 911 Cabriolet with a 6-speed manual transmission. It's a C2, so rear drive, and it's got under 45,000 kilometers. So it's also important to note that this car is the first year of the 997.2, making IMS concerns a thing of the past for water-cooled 911 owners. So that one is lot 256 on the website. Silver, Arctic Silver on Carrera Red at 09 911 Cabriolet with the 6-speed and under 45k kilometers. Clean Carfax, super clean car. Please take a look at our detailed listing where there's the normal complement of about a dozen videos for that one. Over 200 photos, top on, top down, gray day, sunny day, interior, underside, front trunk, and engine compartment, of course. The next one to see is lot 257. It's a 2003 Chevrolet Corvette 50th anniversary car. So there are lots of 03 Corvettes. The minority are they're all, I suppose, made in the 50th anniversary Corvette, but there are only a certain number of 50th anniversary special editions. This one comes with a 6-speed manual transmission, backing up that big 5.7 liter V8, getting power to the rear wheels. And I'll also mention that the color is called Anniversary Red. To my naked eye, it looks a little like burgundy, but the GM color name is Anniversary Red, and that comes over a shale interior. That color combo was consistent for all the 50th anniversary edition cars. So again, under 90k kilometers on that one, and a clean Carfax there as well. Have a look at our detailed listing, again for lot 257. And the last car we're going to show you today, it is a Thrifty Thursday car. So occasionally we get cars that are a little less than turnkey, and they might need a little bit of attention to get them to the condition that the new owner wants. So we call that Thrifty Thursday. We launch them on a Thursday. They close on a Thursday, and this one will sell by auction because it's being offered at no reserve. Another little plug I'll mention is that the seller of this car opted for our white glove service, where we negotiate a percentage in advance, and basically the owner just turns the key over to us and we do the rest. So this one is a 2005 Mazda RX-8, 6-speed manual transmission, again being offered at no reserve. The car's being inspected. As I record this video, we don't have the inspection report yet, but as soon as we get it, we're going to add it to the listing for lot 255, the 05 Mazda RX-8 6-speed manual on CollectorCarCanada.CA. It's finished in a red, and there is a lot of black trim on the exterior of the car. Primarily the modifications are on the exterior of the car, both performance and cosmetic. To our knowledge, there's only one performance, or under hood modification, and that's a K&N air filter. So again, that one's lot 257, a Thrifty Thursday offering, 2005 Mazda RX-8 6-speed manual being offered at no reserve. Okay, that's enough of the intro, onto the cars. Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today we have another awesome one. It's lot 256 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. It's a 2009 Porsche 911 Cabriolet with 6-speed transmission, and a bonus, this car, despite being an 09, is under 45,000 kilometers. We're going to take a good look at the car in this video, and I think you're going to see that it's in really nice condition. Again, an 09 911 Carrera 2, two-wheel drive, and again, 45,000 kilometers, a little bit under, with the 3.6 liter engine, good for 345 horsepower. More specs on the detailed listing for lot 256, like torque and other great stuff like that. Another thing to keep in mind for this car, this is the first year of 997.2, those who are into their Porsche nomenclature. So the 997 appeared in 2005. The turbos came in 06, but the 997.1 began in 05 and ran through 08. And in 09, the 997.2 came out, and it made IMS concerns a thing of the past. So no IMS concerns for this 09. So I'll give it a start, and we'll take a look at the engine, listen to the exhaust, listen to the engine, and have a nice little tour of the car. So again, lot 256, 2009 Porsche 911 Carrera 2 with a 6-speed manual transmission, under 45,000 kilometers, 6-speed transmission driving the rear wheels, and post IMS excitement, I'll say. Of course, the key is on the left in a 911. So no trouble with the start. I better make sure I got the car in neutral, apply the handbrake, and I hope you can see that the overhead door behind me is ajar by about 2 feet or so, so I'm not too worried about the exhaust fumes. They should be flowing right out the door. I'll mention also that we're in the seller's detail shop. So the car is almost detailed. Unfortunately, we got here before the detailer had done his thing, but as I'm showing you the cleanliness of this car, keep in mind that this is before it was detailed. It is quite presentable already. So that accounts for the appearance around us. And outside, there's a bit of drizzle, so we didn't want to shoot the video outside. That's what I had planned to do, but this car doesn't see rain. Okay, I'll grab the camera and we'll start the tour with me holding the camera. So the car is idling nice and easily. You can see that front driving light below the round headlight. Of course, the 997 went back. I say round, technically oval, but without the style of the 996 that was inspired by the Porsche GT1 race car. Fun fact. As much headache as those 996 headlights go, I'll bet most of the people who slag them don't know that they were inspired by a race car. If you're interested, you could check out Porsche GT1. Back to this 997.2 though. I mentioned the driving light because this is a US market car. It was originally delivered in Florida. It's been in Canada about 10 years. We do have our normal Carfax.ca report on the listing. The owner has supplied a Carfax.com report. So it's a lot of the same information on both. I guess we could have saved 45 bucks and used the Carfax.com one that you'll find in the gallery, but we stuck to standard. Anything 81 and newer, we put a Carfax.ca report on. So you'll see that linked in CCC Vital Info to the right of this review video on the auction page for lot 256. So cruising on in, so long as I'm talking about those lights while the engine's running, I'll show you the headlights. So two turns after auto, and that's the low beam. Of course, the high beam's with the turn signal light, as you'd expect. But to engage the fog lights, you pull that one out. So we'll take a look at the lights. So now that accessory light, parking light, is lit up. It was not lit up previously. And you can see those advanced headlights. I'll take a search for those. I'm not sure if they're xenon or HID, but there's a little look at how they appear. But the real purpose of having the engine on for this portion of the video, you can see that amber light lit up to indicate the fog lights are engaged. I'm gonna leave it on auto for the owner. To release the engine cover. So the front one here is for the front trunk. As Porsche people will probably realize, we got a rear engine car here today. And this one releases the engine cover. So cruising on back, above the engine cover, there's that nice Carrera badge. So it's well covered, certainly, and you probably get a better look at this engine from underneath. In this case, the seller has supplied us with oodles of not only stills of the underside, but even videos. So that's probably your best bet to look at engine components. Here we can get a look at some of the gloss and the shimmer with that nice conspicuous Porsche badge and the 3.6 emblem to the bottom right to indicate the displacement. But I'll bring the camera in, not so much to look at, just so you can hear the engine idling. So yeah, sounds pretty normal to me. You can see that's where the fan operates. And these are intakes, of course, to feed these ducts here. To feed the 3.6, 345 horsepower engine. And we might as well take a look at the exhaust, or take a look at the exhaust outlets, dual exhaust, but more importantly, let's listen to them. Left side, again, a dual exhaust, and over to the passenger side. These tail lights are first year 09, and this style of tail lights indicates the 997.2 I was mentioning earlier. The 997.1, they're somewhat distinct, but they're a lot like the 996 tail lights. I'd say the 7.2s are more different from the 7.1s than the 7.1s are from the 996. So long as we're looking at them, let's take a look at that rear light while illuminated. So if you have a really keen eye, you notice that I pulled out the fog light switch. And if you have a really keen eye, you'll also notice that part of the tail light on the left is brighter than the rest. As you may or may not know, that's the rear fog light. So if I push that fog light back in, the fog light switch back in, that portion will appear just like the one on the right. My friendly driver tip of the day is that only use those in the fog. Otherwise, people think you've got a malfunctioning brake light. If you use them in the fog, you look like you know what you're doing. Okay, let's cut the engine and start our tour of the exterior. While we're at it, I'll show you that odometer at under 45,000 kilometers. As I say, a US market car, but don't be concerned about I better turn off those lights. Don't be concerned about the miles odometer reading. It's under 28,000 miles. Don't take my word for it. Please take a look at our detailed listing where you'll see photos of the odometer with the miles reading. So we got a silver on red. I'd say the red really brightens up, really wakes up the silver, really makes it pop with the red interior. We've got a full captioning of all the option codes on the detailed listing. And I can see by my naked eye right now, one of the options on this car is the sport seats. And we'll take a close look behind the parking lot at the front dual 5-spoke wheel. This is skinned in a set of, the front tires are a set of Continental Conti Sport Contact 3. I took a look at the date code originally when we were doing some exterior photos, and I suspect these front tires are original to the car because I saw a date code. I don't remember now if it was 08 or 09, but around the time the car was assembled in Stuttgart. So unfortunately it's upside down, but there's a look at the size. 235, 35, R19. These would be Y rated. But take a look at our detailed listing for lot 256 for more detail on the tires in terms of manufacture date and speed rating. You can see underneath that colored center cap with Porsche is a cross-drilled rotor at all 4 corners. And there's the Porsche branded caliper. Car this low miles, I'm sure, certainly the caliper would be original. I suspect the rotor's original too. But we do have some service records on the detailed listing for lot 256. Please take a look if you're interested. Just while I'm at it, this sticker for the collection, that is a dealership in Coral Gables, Florida, so just outside of Miami. And the collection sold this car when it was very young. And the PCA sticker, despite that standing for Porsche Club of America, I happen to be a member of the local chapter, and those are the stickers they give us. PCA for Porsche Club of America. The local chapter here in Ontario is UCR, Upper Canada Region. So in various places on the site, you're gonna see PCA, UCR. That's what that big long acronym means. I noticed when we were doing photos of the car that all of the glass appears with the Saint-Gobain Security emblem, indicating to me it's original. There's the VIN number, but you don't need to write that down now. As you might expect, we've got that on the detailed listing. Of course, we've got the Carfax there, the 2 Carfax reports there as well. Just as long as I'm at it, I always look for little imperfections, and on the metal, I could only find this one. So there's a tiny chip that's been touched up on the front driver side fender, and there it is with a toonie to give you some sense of perspective. I must say the owner pointed that out to me. I hadn't done my imperfection check, but it didn't jump out at me, and as I say, the owner pointed it out to me. You can also see here a subtle line, and as you might guess, that indicates that this car's been treated with a PPF on the front. So not the entire car, not the entire front end, but the front of that fender and the hood. I'm really tempted to show you the really clean front bumper, but I'm gonna do a circle check around the car. I suspect I will not forget. So yeah, paint protection film PPF covering on, I guess about the front eighth of the car. I also see some really light chipping here on the driver's side mirror cap, color coded, not a metal part, so a little less concerning if anyone ever wanted to repaint that. I always like an original paint car, of course. A close second is if only the poly or the non-metal parts have been refinished. Otherwise, I don't see too many, I said too many. I don't see any flaws on this paint otherwise. Here's a good look at the Continental, where's the model here? Conti Sport Contact 3. It's a match to the front despite being manufactured later. So there's the Continental emblem. Here's the size here, 295/30 ZR19 with the Y rating. And let's see how quickly I can find the date code. Here we go. 2018 for the rear tires. I'm questioning myself. I think I might have said 18 for the front tires. Certainly 19 in the rear. And oh yeah, we had the upside down one. So I hope I didn't say 18 because they're 19s all around on the original 5 double spoke Porsche wheels. So staggered setup. And then working our way around, you can see a portion of the roof here. I'm not gonna operate the roof in this video, but you can see it both going up and down, the power top in operation on our detailed listing. Again, lot 256, CollectorCarCanada.CA. Working our way around, here's some venting for some intake to the engine. And right there is our middle brake light, or center high mount stop light, CHMSL. And a good look at the 997.2 specific tail lights. And there's that exit for the dual exhaust. You can see the actual pipe is in there, and that aluminum look exit is probably more for show than go, because we can see the pipe, the actual pipe inside the exit on the aluminum, the rounded rectangle aluminums. Not gonna make an effort to show you the underside. As I said earlier, we've got oodles of underside photos and videos on the detailed listing. So here's a good look at the 295 on the rear. Again, with the cross-drilled rotors underneath, Porsche branded calipers, and the colored Porsche crest for a center cap. Yeah, as I say, I didn't find any flaws on the rear, or sorry, the passenger side. Let's take a close look at the mirror, because I did find one on the driver's side, but on this side I don't. Fuel door, nice and clean inside. I guess we've got 91 octane. Oh, it's rated for 93, so 93 octane into the Porsche. And there's the 235 on the passenger front with the 5 double spoke Porsche rim with colored center caps. You can notice the PPF in place here on this side as well. Pretty subtle from 10 feet, but if you get close, you can notice it. And the oval headlight up front. And this is a headlight washer, as you might have guessed. And now we get a chance to look at this front bumper, and it is really clean. I am used to seeing some chips or some bug marks, but I don't see any on this bumper cover. Oh, that was a lousy camera work by me, sorry about that. But there's a good look at it. I do see a slight imperfection here on the front trunk cover. I'll pull out my handy dandy toonie so that you can get a sense of perspective. But I see that guy right there, so. Pretty small, but it's there. And then a tiny little one there as well. There are a number of items in the trunk, including the Porsche branded car cover that comes with the car. So I'm not gonna open up the front trunk now. There are lots of photos of it on our detailed listing, as you might guess. Lot 256. And I say we climb in it, and maybe I don't need to climb in it, but I can give you a quick tour of the inside. Maybe I'll pull that key to avoid the beeping. The car does come with 2 keys, so multi-function keys with keyless remote for the front trunk as well, as you might be able to see from that video. That middle button operates the front trunk. And I'm gonna put that in my normal spot for it here by the front wheel. Don't want to ever lock the keys in someone else's car. So original branded Porsche floor mats to match the red carpets, red leather, perforated leather. As I say, sports seats with the gray hard backs to match. I suppose I should say silver to match the exterior of the car. Take a look at our detailed listing, again, lot 256, where we're very specific about colors and options as well, of course. So there's a look at the odometer at 44,284, definitely going to its new owner below 45,000 kilometers. A center mounted tach, common to 911s, and then a few more gauges here to the right. Coolant temperature, this is a water pumper, not an air-cooled number. Of course, Porsche moved to water-cooled for the 911s in 1998. And oil pressure measured in bars on the far left. And there's oil temperature as well on the far left. That little dial is to reset the trip. And there's another one here to set the clock. Oh my gosh, it's past high noon. I told the guys I'd be back by noon. I'm having too much fun with this Porsche. I am late. And typical stock here. This one is for the onboard computer. And I've played around with that a little bit with the photos. And it's also how you control the toggle between kilometers here and miles. So you'll see that the analog portion of the speedometer is in miles per hour, max reading of 200. But when you use that toggle, you can go back and forth on this digital display between kilometers an hour and miles per hour. And then another stock here for cruise control management. I'm not going to show you the stereo all lit up right now, but there are photos of it on the detailed listing. Again, lot 256, CollectorCarCanada.CA. And climate control system right here. There's a good look at the 6-speed shifter, aluminum top with leather grip and skirt, or maybe I'll call it a boot. Yeah, and this car's full leather. You can see this dash, you can see the stitching. A really nice appointment on these Porsches. To have full leather here, not a plastic that will not wear as nicely as the leather. Little storage compartment here on the door, on the armrest on the door. Speakers here on the doors. Same on the other side. Again, the leather wrapped on the handle of the handbrake. This is the control for the top. As I say, you can see the top going up and down in our detailed listing. Ashtray here, super clean. I even checked the lighter. It's a little bit stuck in there, but there's a good look at it. No evidence of any smoking in this car, but good to know that that lighter is there as a 12-volt outlet. And a matching door card here for the passenger. You can see that airbag emblem and the various vents on the front. There are 2 small seats in the rear, but only the 2. The center is all about drivetrain. Probably okay for small children or adults for a short trip in a pinch, but I was interested to see the color combination that was spec'd for this car. We got the hard silver on the rear of the seats, the red leather, and then more contrast with the gray seat belts to match the exterior of the car. And we got some data here, all taken up close on the detailed listing. Door sills got the aluminum look. Carrera emblem, and even the hinges look spotlessly clean. Again, this is before the car is detailed, so I'm impressed. So I'll do one last walk around here, and we'll move to some closing thoughts. I catch myself walking a bit quickly, but I think I've given you a pretty good tour of what this 09 Carrera 2 Cabriolet is all about. And another thing, it does come with the wind deflector you see here included. So there's a good look at our 2009 Porsche 911 997.2 series Carrera 2 Cabriolet, 6-speed manual with under 45,000 kilometers. There's a whole mess of photos and information and documentation, other videos as well on our detailed listing for the car. It's lot 256 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Silver on red for this 997.2 Carrera 2 Cabriolet. And I think that'll about do it. I'll thank you for watching, and on to the next car. Hi everyone, and welcome to another fabulous car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today we have a 2003 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, 6-speed manual, and it's the 50th anniversary edition. So lots of 03 Corvettes. The minority, though, are the 50th anniversary edition. A couple of PSAs before I get underway. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. We have another podcast, the Collector Car Stories podcast, where we interview someone and just have a little chat about a car, a collection of cars, maybe some kind of a car event, something like that. We have a little bit of fun with that. But yeah, to like the videos doesn't cost you anything. It helps get them in front of the eyes of people who want to see them. If you share them, why not do a brother a solid and share it with people you think might like them, and subscribe. That will ensure that as these videos are released, you'll get notification and be the first on your block to see them. And our other PSA, this year in 2025, we've begun an advertising relationship with Corvette Club of Ontario, CCO. So we're really excited about that. I actually personally have a speaking gig coming up with them at their June members meeting. I actually have one with PCA UCR on Tuesday, I think that will be May 7th. So the same day as this car begins on our website, I'll be speaking to PCA UCR that night. But yeah, just reflection of how active we are with several clubs, Canadian clubs, and I suppose with a little bit of concentration in the Southern Ontario area, admittedly, but let's face it, that's where the population of Canada is. And Canada is our target market for CollectorCarCanada.CA. Back to this car, enough PSA. 2003 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, 50th anniversary edition with the 6-speed manual. And it's going to be lot 257 on CollectorCarCanada.CA, lot 257. So this one's finished in the 50th anniversary red. I'd call it a burgundy. It's not unlike the ruby red of the 93 40th anniversary edition. But by the GM book, it is 50th anniversary red, and it's over a shale interior. So all the 50th anniversary cars are the 50th anniversary red over the shale. I'll show you some emblems, both inside and out of the car when we start doing our walk around tour. But every 50th anniversary has this color combo. If you have a friend who's got, say, a green 03 Corvette and he tells you it's a 50th anniversary, you can say you are a liar. Unless it's been repainted, of course, because they all came out of the factory. 50th anniversary red over the shale leather. Okay, let's get underway. I'm going to give it a start, and we'll do our normal thing with listening to the engine and the exhaust, and then we'll do a full tour of the car. So without further ado, I'm going to start her up. So I'm not wearing a seatbelt. It sounds like the warning tones have stopped. So I think I can continue. So no problem at all with the start. You can hear the growl of the 5.7 liter or 346 cubic inch V8 through quad exhaust in the rear, quad exhaust exits. Of course, it's a front engine. And I think it's about the time where I will grab the camera and we'll start our walk around, starting with the engine. So see you in a minute. So there's another good look at the profile of the 03 50th anniversary Corvette. You can see, if you look closely, you can see the gap in that hood is a little bulging. That's because I've already released the hood. So I like to call this a clamshell hood, where the hinges are in the front. And this one's really simple. Being that it's the hinges are in the front, there's not much danger of only having the one hood release, which is in the cabin, as you guess. So nothing to release on the exterior of the car. So again, 346 cubic inch or 5.7 liter V8 with 16 valves, and I'll get in nice and close. It's a pretty valve cover, which is nice to look at, but I'll get close on the belts and we'll get a good listen. The owner, I noticed the AC Delco battery, which I know to be a GM OEM item. I mentioned it to the owner and he said that he had it installed 2 years ago. Nice to keep it GM correct. I also remarked to the owner about the spick and span, very tidy condition of that engine compartment. And he mentioned that every time he cleans the car, he cleans under the hood as well. And he gets a hard time from his wife, who says, "You're supposed to be driving the car, not cleaning it." But he seems to like cleaning it as much as he likes driving it. He just took me for a spin for some of the driving videos that we have on lot 257 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. And he really babied it. I know the car's got so much more than he showed, but you can hear the engine under load in our driving videos, as well as a startup, idle, and exhaust video on the detailed listing. And I'll walk around to the rear. All four exits are together on the car, so I can get them all in the same picture, as you see here in the center. And let's have a listen to the idle. So to me, that idle almost sounds like, through that exhaust, sounds like a wolf in sheep's clothing. You can see it's behaving itself now, but you can tell it's got so much more to say. I think I'll cut the engine now. We're about done with what we need the engine running for, and we can start our exterior tour. So again, without the with the front hinge on the hood, it's just as easy to put down as bring up. Sometimes when I'm shooting these videos, one-handed hood operation can become a challenge, but with the front hinge, there's a lot less concern about safety, of course, i.e. the hood popping up while the car is being driven. So that makes it convenient. So first things first, I'll show you one of the 50th anniversary emblems here on the nose of the car. Again, a 2003 Chevrolet Corvette, 6-speed manual, convertible with the 50th anniversary package, 50th anniversary red over a shale leather interior. Got a couple of close-ups of these on the detailed listing. So even the front end here looks pretty clean up here. A common place to see scuffing and rubbing, being that the car is so low. I will mention the mileage. I'll probably remember when we jump into the car, but I can think of it right now. Canadian car, sitting at under 90,000 kilometers. So this car is going to its new owner with fewer than 90,000 kilometers. So getting up close to the front driver's tire here, I can see that it is the stock 17-inch wheel. It's lined in a Michelin Pilot Sport All Season 3+. I hesitated when I said set because I'm only showing you one, but it is a matching set of tires all around. They're staggered, so the front two are narrower than the rear two. And up front here, we've got 245, 45, ZR17 with a Y rating. Until now, I had not noticed any scuffing on these wheels, but at my current vantage point, I do notice a scuff on this driver's side front wheel. There's a good look at the emblem for the model of tire by Michelin, as well as the size and speed rating. I noticed the date code earlier. I'm pretty sure I remember 2017, but we do have photos of it again for lot 257, CollectorCarCanada.CA. Cruising in on it. Here's another 50th anniversary emblem that only the 50th anniversary cars got. There's a look at the VIN. You can find that as well as a current Carfax on the detailed listing. And as well, with the clean Carfax, you're going to see a little bit of history in Nova Scotia. The current owner bought it from a friend. Both of them are in Ontario, but his friend bought it from a collector that he's calling the person a collector in Nova Scotia, accounting for that Nova Scotia inspection sticker. So working our way back, the fuel door right here, we opened it up and took a quick look at it. with our detailed photos on the listing. Again, lot 257. So you can take a look at that, nice and clean. Zooming in on the first rear tire on the driver's side. Stock wheels, as I say. Michelin Pilot Sport AS3 Plus. Here on the rear, as I mentioned earlier, staggered set. So this one's a 275/40 ZR18. Again, Y speed rated. And my bad eyesight can see the date code right now, 2017. This is an inexact way of measuring, but I'll give you a sense of the tread depth using my coin here. So pretty grippy on the rear still. I'm just feeling around for the wear bar. I don't know, there's enough grip on these tires that I don't even find the wear bar easily. And I'll do the same on the front. I expect they have at least as much tread, being that the date code's the same. And here's the coin. So again, lots of tread up here. I find a wear bar here, so you can see the coin going over the wear bar. So right now it's on the wear bar. Okay, so up to the rear of the car, and the classic round Corvette tail lights. Of course, at this stage, of course, GM has made a change on those. I'll mention also that the C5, this being a 5th generation Corvette, just for fun, I'll roll through them. C1, 53 to 62, C2, 63 to 67, C3, 68 to 82, C4, 84 to 96. Keen listeners, notice I skipped 1983. Do your Google search to find out why, if you don't know. And then this is a C5 starting in 98 through 05. I'm sorry, I slipped there, 98 to 04. So this is the second last year of C5, and thus the second last year with the pop-up headlights, which were in place from C2 through C5. The C6 came out in 2005 and was produced through 2013. C7 up to 19, and then the current C8 began in 2020 model year. So there's a good look at the car from the rear. You can see those quad exhaust outlets. There's another, well, first there's the Corvette embossed on the rear fascia, and the familiar crossed flags Corvette emblem, but this one's got the 50th anniversary as well. I always like this look at a convertible. You can get a good look at that shale leather interior with that shot. So I'm having a little fun with our seller. I'm standing beside a church, which you might have noticed from the opening shot, and in the backyard of this church there's a cemetery. So I really just wanted to go back here because there's a little less road noise, because we're beside a pretty major thoroughfare in town here. But it's kind of fun to be in the, quote, peaceful atmosphere of the cemetery. So looking at the other rear quarter, so there's the old church in the background, and the car's equipped with a power antenna. We do have a video of it even running in operation on the detailed listing. I'm noticing a tiny scratch here. Not even sure if it'll come up, but my coin is to its right. And then the biggest chip that the owner, he was pretty upfront. He showed me here. You can see there's a little chip in the gap there. Easily touched up, and it's in a place where a touch-up would be pretty inconspicuous, but up to the new owner if they want to do it. And as I'm thinking of it, the only other scratch I saw, I was remiss and I missed it when we were looking at the front of the car. There's a scratch here, 4 of the front wheel on the driver's side. So with the Toonie for perspective, it's quite a bit smaller than the coin. Dropped my coin. Got it. Working our way back around to where we were at the power antenna. Again, the twin, I won't say round because really they're oval, but rounded taillights in Corvette tradition, until I guess the C7, where they disappeared in terms of roundness. And a marker light here on the rear, Here's a good look at the passenger side rear wheel. Again, Michelin Pilot Sport AS3 Plus. We got 275/40 R18 in the rear with the Y speed rating, 2017 date code on them. And this side is looking quite similar to the driver's side. No fuel door, of course, over here, but the 50th anniversary red, looking quite bright and quite lustrous. The current owner, he's had it about 3 years. He mentions he wouldn't drive it in the rain, and with under 90,000 kilometers in 22 years, it's probably a safe bet that the mileage was racked up mostly on sunny days. If it was a rainy day car, it would have higher miles. My instinct tells me, but I can't speak to what prior owners have done, of course. That's just my instinct speaking. Now their 50th anniversary badge on the passenger side fender. And a look at the passenger's front wheel. Again, stock, 245/45 ZR 17. Oh, we've got what I call double staggered. That's not a trade term, but 17's in the front and 18's in the rear. So staggered in terms of width, and I say double staggered when they're higher diameter in the rear compared to the front. Pilot Sport AS3 Plus. You can see all four are the same make and model of tire. And for fun, why don't I show you the car with the headlights up? We can see them in operation as well. I've already had them up, so I know they work. I don't think I need to start the car. I just have to have it in the on position. So here's a demo of the pop-up headlights. And I'll show them to you. I might as well turn on the fogs while we're at it. You can see all it totally lit up in the front. Gotta get low to get those fogs. But there you go. All working as designed. I might as well show them to you going down as well. No trouble at all. Get that key away from the on position. And we'll move into the interior. So generally clean inside. There's some signs of wear. I'll zoom in on those for you. Carpet. The carpets are clean. Certainly the mats are mostly clean. This driver's mat could do with a shampoo, but it is the original mat because you see that 50th anniversary emblem on it. If you're really choosy, you might want to shampoo that one. And then more on the driver's seat certainly than the passenger side. You just see a little bit of a wrinkling of the leather. I don't see any perforations certainly, and I think if I go really closely, some might call that a crack, some might call it natural wrinkling of the leather. But again, the bolster, no cracking. Another tell of there's the Corvette embroidered on the seat, but another tell of the 50th anniversary is the headrests have that same 50th anniversary emblem on both headrests, and just a standard Corvette emblem here in the center. So this part of the interior, of course, this is part of the interior when the top goes up, but there are some hints of the exterior color and finish with the top up. So climbing on in, I guess I should put that key to the on-off position. I'll take it out actually. And you can see a 300 kilometer an hour speedometer. You'll also note that there's no mile per hour numbers on there. There is a control to switch from what I call imperial and metric. GM just calls imperial English. And the speedometer adjusts, but those numbers stay in place. So that 300 though, that certainly denotes that this is a Canadian market car. There's all kinds of evidence of that, from Carfax to the owner's manual, but Canadian market car. And the TAC tops out at 7250 with a red line at 6,000. On the left, we've got oil pressure and water temperature gauges. On the right, looks like we've got a voltmeter and a fuel gauge, of course. Here are some various functions for the trip computer, light controls, and a trunk release. And then this car is also equipped with heads-up display. you can see where it projects from there. So those not familiar, I'm a little bit familiar with it. From the driver's seat, the speed is projected digitally onto the windshield, so you don't need to look down to the speedometer here. You can read your speed up there. Delco Bose stereo in place. You can see the Delco emblem right here. And then if I go over to this speaker, you see the Bose insignia there. Same with on the passenger door. Under with this airbag cover, you got a nice Corvette emblem up there. And then as you'd expect, automatic climate control with AC. There's an ashtray right here. It gets so little use, it barely pops up, but perfectly clean. We even took the lighter out, took a picture of the other side of the lighter. Evidence certainly of not being a smoker car. And a little cup holder here. And then the 6-speed manual shifter. Lots of these would be automatic, but we're happy to have a 6-speed here for you. Again, lot 257 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Handbrake is engaged. I think it's sitting in neutral because I had the car running with it stopped. And then you've got active handling and your touring versus sport selective ride control here. So firms up if you flip it over to the sport. And there's a power button there for the passenger airbag. Glove box and a center console box. I'm not going to open those now. They contain some personal effects, but we have pictures of them open on the detailed listing. There's a good look at the passenger seat. I'm not going to call it brand new because it's a 22-year-old car, but certainly near new condition on this passenger seat. I guess I should get a good look at the carpet over there on the passenger side for you. So I'll do that. So yeah, a little less wear over here on the passenger side. You can see that 50th anniversary emblem on the passenger's mat as well. But we did this earlier. We built up the carpets and there's no surprises under there. That shale is perfectly, well, I won't say perfectly, it's not, nothing's perfect. Very presentable still. There's a good look at the brake in the engaged position. Don't see this on the driver's side, but this door sill cover has a little bubbling here. Got that with a coin on the detailed listing photos in case you want to see it. So we'll do one final walk around of the car here. Again, we've got a 2003 Chevrolet Corvette convertible with the 6-speed transmission in a 50th anniversary offering from GM. So a limited run for these 03 50th anniversaries. The bulk of the 03 Corvettes might have been in the 50th year. Actually, I guess it'd be the 50th. Yeah, it would be the 50th year because they skipped 83. But the bulk of them do not have the 50th anniversary package. We do have photos of the car with the top up, as well as a demonstration of the manual roof being operated, both coming up and going down. The owner was good enough to demo that while we shot video of it. You can check that out on the detailed listing. We also have underside shots of it as well. So there's one last walk around before we move to some closing thoughts. All right, so there's a great look at our 2003 Chevrolet Corvette convertible with a 6-speed manual. And of course, it's the 50th anniversary edition, available in Mississauga, Ontario, from the 3-year owner. Please do take a look at our detailed listing for lot 257 to see lots of information about specs and background of this car. A quick taste of the specs: 5.7 liter V8 16 valve engine up front, producing 350 horsepower. Check the detailed listing for that. I might be off by about 5. And a higher number for torque, which again, I might be off by 5 or so, but right around 360 pound-feet. Rear drive only on the 03 Corvette. Staggered, double staggered as I like to call them. 17s in the front, 18s in the rear. Wider in the rear than in the front. Quad exit exhausts. 50th anniversary red over the shale leather interior. I could go on and on. It's so much fun being around a Corvette. But that's probably enough for this video. Lot 257, 2003 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, 6-speed manual in the 50th anniversary edition. That'll about do it for this great car. Thank you for watching, and on to the next car. Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews Podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today we have a 2005 Mazda RX-8 4-door coupe. This is going to be lot 255 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. A couple of interesting distinctions for this car is that we are launching it on a Thrifty Thursday. So this is a Thrifty Thursday car, which means we get cars from time to time that are not turnkey. They need a few things, like a thrifty new owner who is thrifty in that maybe he's going to save a couple bucks in buying it. So this car is a Thrifty Thursday, and it's no reserve. No reserve on this 2005 Mazda RX-8. And another interesting thing about it is that it's part of our white glove service. So the owners of such cars basically give us the keys and we do the rest. So when people have got bigger things in their mind, maybe they're selling a house, downsizing, something like that, we negotiate a percentage in advance, and that's how we collect our fee from them. We negotiate a fee in advance, and it's always a no reserve.
So being that we are handling the sale on this one, we are really hoping for some showings on the car. All of our cars are available to be shown. You just use the contact seller button on the listing.
We're in a public place. We are patriotic Canadians at Collector Car Canada, and today we are on the grounds of the Canadian National Exhibition. To my right and behind, to the back right of the car, is BMO Field, where TFC and the Toronto Argonauts play their home games. So, like we always do, I'm going to give this car a start. We'll take a listen to the engine and exhaust and go from there. So here we go with the startup. So it fired right up. Another interesting distinction for this car is that it has been inspected. The inspection happened immediately before we're shooting this video. So I haven't seen the written inspection report. We're going to have it on lot 255 on CollectorCarCanada.CA, but I did get the inspector's remarks. He was happy with the car. He said he got a lot of looks actually as he was driving it around on his test drive. It did throw 3 or 4 codes, and those are going to be in his report, but he called them minor, and I'll address some imperfections on the car as we go through the video. So I'll hop out of the car now, and we'll take a look at and listen to the engine. Okay, so I've moved the car to get the last of the day's light. The Formula Red really does look sharp in the bright light. The golden hour, as the photographers call it, the last of the light. So we'll zoom right in on the engine now. And I'll get in close to that belt and we can have a listen. So despite the car being one of our white gloves, I did get a chance to speak to the owner, and he told me that although the car shows modifications, the only performance modification is this air intake, K&N air filter. One other thing that really jumps out at me is this stabilizer bar, which of course assists with handling. And I've been driving the car for a couple days, getting it clean. That kind of stuff, getting that inspection done. Stuff we do with our white glove service. And yeah, it's a blast to drive. It really handles neat. So one last sound of the engine. And I'll cruise on back to the rear of the car to get a listen to both exhaust pipes. So Dual exhaust, one on each side. So that's what the exhaust sounds like. So I'm going to cut the engine now, straighten out that wheel for posterity. And the lights are on as well. I'm not sure if I had the fogs on, but they do work. All the lights work other than bright lights, but I'll get to that. It might be a little tricky getting this hood closed with the prop rod and one hand on the camera, but let's see how I do. No problem at all. It's almost like I've done this before. So again, lot 255 on this 05 Mazda RX-8 four-door coupe. So we'll walk around the car. There are points obvious on the car where some touch-up paint's been applied. We have really good photos of it on the detailed listing for lot 255. I'm not sure how it's going to look on the video, but we'll see soon. Another modification. So otherwise, the modifications, other than that air filter I showed you, otherwise they're all in the exterior of the car. I would call some performance oriented and some cosmetic. So we've got that front air dam and splitter. I would definitely call that performance oriented, and it really does give the car a serious performance look. I really like the look of it in the profile. You might be able to tell from the our photo gallery on lot 255. I got a few different angles of it. These, however, those are just stuck on. So I call those faux air vents because they don't have a function. And then another one, which is on the performance side, the car has been lowered. I wasn't sure, but the inspector seemed very sure that the car's been lowered. And this this side skirt gives it the look of it being lowered even lower, actually. But there's a good look at the profile of the wheel and the tire. And that fender flare, the inspector believes that's on with adhesive, and those are faux bolts. But I think I would call that one a cosmetic modification. Same with this faux vent right here on the C pillar. When we took the car from the owner back on, I guess it's about 4 or 5 days ago now, there was one on each side. When we had it cleaned, we lost the one. Well, we didn't lose it, but it's no longer mounted on the C pillar on the passenger side. We have that. It's in the trunk right now. It'll go with the car. So if the new owner decides he or she wants them on the car, you can re-adhere it, or you can remove the one on the driver's side. So we're getting into the shade now. I think we're getting toward day's end, and the rest of the video we're going to be faced with without direct light, but it might give us an opportunity to get a better look at this paint. So this front bumper cover, I can tell that it's been repaired. You can tell it's not a perfectly smooth surface, and repainted. I'll also point out that although the headlights work, there is some fogginess on the lenses on both lights, but pretty normal for a 2005 model year. Now, at first blush, certainly I was fooled when I first saw the car. I thought these were aftermarket wheels, but as I got closer up, I realized all the black is painted. And
when I saw this emblem, JIL, for passing a Japanese regulatory standard,
that made me think, holy smokes, wait a second, maybe these are original wheels. And with these two holes here on each of the 5 spokes, I realized, hey, these are the factory 18s on an RX-8. They've just been painted to look a little different. They really do look kind of neat as the car's in motion. I got to see the car in motion while the inspector drove it because I didn't join him for the drive. But so despite them looking like an aftermarket wheel, they are stock items, and they can look like stock again if they just get repainted the silvery color. We did include a photo of the stock wheels as they came out of the factory as a stock photo on the detailed listing. Again, lot 255. Two pairs of tires. So the front tires are by Evergreen, and all four tires measure 245 40 ZR18. I believe they're Y rated in the front and V rated on the rear. I might have that in reverse. We've got the facts on the detailed listing. Again, lot 255. Working our way back to the rear wheel. We've got a pair of Victras on the rear. Maxxis Victra, actually, Z4S. And again, the same size, the 245 40 ZR18. The paint all looks pretty good on this side as we work our way around. There's a lot of black trim, and there's a lot, I'd call the exterior red with black trim, and then the interior is more like a black with red trim. And we'll get to that interior after we're done with the exterior, of course, but a black and red theme throughout. So biggest flaw, I guess, with this car, certainly cosmetically, we do see some corrosion bubbling here behind the rear wheel and a little bit fore of the wheel as well. So I'll put my tuning up with that to give you a sense of perspective. And I'll add that I can see some tape lines here. So I think this rust has been repaired before. But again, we're selling this one no reserve. And if, like normal, I'm happy to point out the flaws. I'd rather point them out now than after sale, as I like to say. So working our way back, here's a good view of the rear of the car. The clear taillight lenses with the color on the bulbs, other than the brake lights, I suppose. And then the dual exhaust and the black spoiler. And even a black, I think we call that a yin-yang in the Buddhist faith. So not all bad days are entirely bad, and with every good day, you get a little bit of bad as well. I think that's the meaning of that yin-yang. So working our way around to the passenger side. So I'll point out again these fender flares. They do have what look like bolts, but as I say, the inspector believes those to be adhered on. And we do have the same issue here on the passenger side rear wheel with the bubbling from corrosion. And as well, I think you can see on the screen that there's a clear line of tape where some rust repair and repaint has been done. So there it is with the tuning to give you a sense of the size of it. And a little less on the front of the wheel on this side, but there's some as well. And here is where that faux vent was removed. As I say, it is in the trunk, and it will go with the car. Another imperfection is that on this lower skirt than factory, the red paint's been chipped off and there's some black visible there. And I do see some scraping on the rear wheel here on the passenger side. And working our way forward. This venting is a stock treatment, but it is consistent with that black and red theme. Here's a good look at that side skirt down its profile. And look at the front right wheel with the Evergreen tires, 245 40 ZR18 with a Y rating up front. Again, please double check the speed ratings. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Y up front and V in the rear, but it might be the reverse. And a look at that front splitter profile look from the passenger side as well. So we have a sporty car here. Again, a 2005 Mazda RX-8 with a 6-speed manual. Again, it's being offered at no reserve, and it does come with an inspection. So please take a look at lot 255 and you'll see that inspection report. You can see it's got the sliding sunroof. We've tested that all out. So it tilts and slides, 2 different buttons for 2 different functions. And we have checked that out to ensure that it works. All functions work as designed. So that'll about do us for the exterior. Come join me now as we move to the interior. All right, another look at the profile of this RX-8. and we'll move on in. But before we do, I showed you the engine. I talked a little bit about the dual exhaust and the performance of the car. I left out horsepower rating. Interestingly, I've already mentioned that this one is a 6-speed manual. Interestingly, the automatics from this year were 40 horsepower less than the manuals. So I'm not going to confuse things and mention the automatic transmission's horsepower, but this 6-speed manual was factory rated at 238 horsepower. So when you consider the weight of the car and the small size of it, 238 really gets it around pretty quickly. And it was really something in 05. Of course, we've got bigger horsepower numbers on more modern cars. Now, most manufacturers like to say they're different. And when you really scrape things off, you have a hard time finding how things are different from other cars. This car is different. I mentioned 4-door coupe, and one of our younger employees actually took a few photos of it with doors open. He didn't even realize that those rear doors existed. So that's why they call this a 4-door coupe. No B-pillar. And we've got some pictures of all 4 doors open with a profile. So of course you can see right through the car. But those rear doors make things pretty practical for the rear passengers. We've got demos of all the power functions on the detailed listing for lot 255. I'm just moving the seat up now to give you a sense of the room in the rear, the 2 rear buckets, so it's not a bench. And I'll put that driver's seat back into place because I'm going to be the one who drives away in it. So we do have power locks, power windows, power seat, power mirror, power sunroof. One thing I'll mention is we couldn't get the power lock to operate the passenger door. So that'll need attention, or maybe the new owner's just going to live with it. But I wanted to get that out of the way. There is a Bose audio system in place. There's a big speaker here on the door and a little tweeter up here by the mirror. And I'll climb into the car. You can see the metal pedals. 3 pedals, of course. We've got a manual transmission, and I really love the look of that big dead pedal on the left. Gives you a place to put your feet on those long trips on the highway when you're not shifting gears. I'm just fishing around for the key now because I'd like to light up that dash for you. Here it is. So I do have the doors open. I better get those closed so we're not faced with all the beeping, but I can start the car again just to show off this dash when it lights up. So I'll mention now, this car's under 211,000 kilometers. It's going to go to its new owner at under 211K. You can see that on the right side. In the center, there's a 10,000 RPM max tachometer with a rotary engine. I didn't talk about the rotary engine. Tiny displacement, but it's a whole different system from the normal cylinder setup we're used to. But to get power out of this car, to really use the engine, you gotta rev it up a little higher than you would a typical Japanese sports car of the period with a conventional layout. So the red line's at 8,500, and it's really not exceptional to be driving around this thing in the city, shifting gears at 5,000 and 6,000 RPM. Fuel gauge and temperature gauge, or coolant temperature gauge on the left and on the right, as well as the odometer. There are 2 trip odometers and an oil temperature gauge as well. The speedometer is built into the tachometer pod, and it's a digital speedometer only. You can go back and forth between miles per hour and miles for the odometer, 2 kilometers an hour on the speedo and miles on the odometer. And of course, I'm not wearing a seatbelt right now, and that amber warning light on the left, that denotes that the high beams are not functioning as designed. So that's one item that an Ontario buyer will have to resolve for his safety. And please take a look at the inspector's report to get a sense of one other item that comes to mind. I think there might be the only 2. but let's rely on this inspector to be the pro on there. I don't think I need the engine running anymore. I'll show you the radio display up above. So you can see there's a clock, a radio function display, as well as the HVAC display all together, despite the radio with CD player and the HVAC being a little lower. Car is equipped from the factory with air conditioning. It's not blowing cold. The seller told us he figures it needs a recharge of refrigerant. The inspector didn't check the compressor, but that is a dangling participle on this car, the phrase I like to use for the unknown. So I'm gonna cut the engine. Interesting handbrake design. It's kind of like a double handle. Now that I have it in gear, I'm gonna put it down, but the top part still juts up forward a bit. Heated buckets here, so as well as being power on the driver's side only, both bucket seats in the front come with heat. The seat for the passenger is manually operated only. And we've got steering wheel mounted controls on the 3-spoke steering wheel for some stereo functions as well as cruise control, as you might expect. So I call this pretty much a fully loaded car. We do have the issue with the power lock on the passenger side, of course, though. Get a good look at the driver's seat. As you'd expect, it is the one that shows the most wear. I don't see any tears, but I do see some wrinkles and a bit of discoloration as well. Factory seat, I'd expect. The original factory RX-8 mats are in place in the front. I don't think the car's got a couple of spare mats in the trunk. Not sure if they're the proper ones for the rear floor or not, but certainly they can be used there. And interesting, for 2005, kind of ahead of its time, side airbags in this car as well. So there's a good look at the rear portion of the cabin. So we've got some cup holders in the console here for the front seat, and then the console for the rear opens up for a little bit of storage as well, and cup holders right there. There's that storage in case I missed it. And then there's even a pass-through here to the trunk. So I'm not gonna display that. There are some personal items in the trunk right now. And you can see the trunk, photos of the trunk on our detailed listing for lot 255, but I'm not gonna open it up right now. As I say, there are personal items in there. I demoed the sunroof at the start of the video, so I think I've given you a pretty good tour of the car. Again, it's a 2005 Mazda RX-8 4-door coupe equipped with a 6-speed manual. It's going to go at no reserve on a thrifty Thursday. So most of our auctions start and end on Tuesday. This one will be 7 days, but we're launching it on a Thursday. And it's going to end on the following Thursday. So the high bidder is going to take this car. No worries about a reserve. And nothing about the second chance or last chance systems on this car. Keen followers of the site will know about second chance and last chance. Arm yourself with information. Check it out on the How It Works page on the website. So one final walk around the car, and we'll move to some closing thoughts. I did take a close look at the rims on the passenger side, and I did show the rash we see on the rear passenger. Let's get close up on the driver's side. I didn't take a good look at those for you, but here on the driver's rear wheel, I don't see any scuffing or curb rash. And then here on the front driver's, I'd say it's clean as well. So we'll just move around to the front. One last look at the snarl of the 05 RX-8. In our photo gallery, you'll see some pictures of the car with a decorative Japanese license plate. We don't have it on right now. It's in the trunk of the car, and it's going to go with the car in case anyone liked the looks of that from the photo gallery. So I thought it'd be fun to show you the car with all 4 doors open, and while I was at it, I opened the trunk lid and the hood. So again, we've got maybe I'll step away so you can see through the car. It's always kind of fun to look through a car with no pillar. So again, for this car, it's going to be lot 255 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. It's a Thrifty Thursday car, so do take a look at the inspector's report. Thrifty Thursday launching on Thursday and finishing on the final Thursday. And because this car has no reserve, we know that it's going to sell 7 days after it begins. So a little more about the car. It's a 2005 Mazda RX-8 with a 6-speed transmission. It's equipped with the Wankel rotary engine, producing 238 horsepower. And the mileage on this car is under 211,000 kilometers. So it's going to go to its new owner with under 211K. And as I say, this car's been inspected. Take a look at the inspector's report to get a sense of condition. The inspector liked it. The most fun part, I don't know if he's going to put this into his report, but for me, when he returned with the car, he told me he was getting all kinds of looks with this red and black themed Mazda RX-8. There was one thing I wanted to do in the video, and I'm realizing I forgot. Being that the car's rotary engine, there are all kinds of evidence of a rotor theme. So I'm going to move to those with the camera in my hand. So the rotor inside the engine that turns is somewhat a triangular shape. So we see the triangular shape on the hood. Can't really see it back here because it's behind the license plate, but there is one in there. You can almost see it with the way I climb down. And then we see the rotor theme on both seats, both front seats, that is, driver, and there's the passenger. And it's not the rotor theme, but the circular CD theme, which would have been really cool back in 2005. And then the last rotor themed evidence I see is here on the rear sort of grate in between the two exhaust pipes. So that's going to do it for this video. Again, lot 255, no reserve, Thrifty Thursday, 2005 Mazda RX-8 with under 211,000 kilometers and a 6-speed manual transmission for 238 horsepower. Thank you for watching, and on to the next car.